I'm David, and this is David Talks.
And I'm Dave, back on David Talks.
All right, let's just get right to it. Diaper Wars goes out to that person calling me late, like, I don't know, 12:30 in the morning.
Whatever.
Well, family member called me up and got mad at me because I wouldn't send them money for a friend.
What the heck?
Yeah, got mad at me, and then afterwards, because I'm like,
But they called you in the middle of the night?
they called me in the middle of the night, and one of the excuses was, since when do you sleep late?
What? That's crazy.
And then,
Man.
I'm like, wait, and then they're like, well, it's only a certain amount of money, like a very small amount of money,
Yeah.
but it's my money.
Right.
It's my money, whether I want to give my money or not.
So they called you and they got mad at you for what? Because you said no? Or what?
I guess they got mad because I said no. I'm like thinking about it. I'm like, what do they need money for? And they said for their friend. And it was like, well, all right, I'll just call somebody else. I'm like, what? And then they said they don't need anything. They good. I'm like, what? And I'm just like saying to
That's
myself,
crazy. That's pride, man.
well, whatever.
That's a
it
lot
is.
of things. That's disrespectful. That's.
Yeah, pretty much.
But and then you, like, I don't know. Yeah, that's a diaper.
Well, yeah, that's definitely a diaper. It's like, it's
I ain't even gonna ask who. I'm gonna ask on camera though. That's crazy.
I mean,
I'm like, no, who the heck? Who did that? Who's that? That's
imagine
crazy.
this. Imagine you in bed after 12 midnight.
Right.
Whether they realize it or not, they call you, and then I go, wait a minute, let me think about this. I'll call you back.
Mm-hmm.
3 minutes later, I need to know now because, you know, I said I would give it to them, and they expecting it.
Right.
So let me know.
Right.
And then
So it's not even for them.
it's not even for them.
It's for someone else.
And then they go, well, I'm an adult, so
Right.
you shouldn't have to question me about how much. You shouldn't have to question me why I need it.
Right.
And then they said, well, it was such a small amount. Like they make it seem like I should feel bad from not giving
You can't
them
do
my
it.
money.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter the amount. Like that's
I mean, let's just say if it was $2,
right.
right? It's still my money.
Exactly.
Then he said, oh, one of the things is, well, let's see what happens the next time you need that money.
Nah.
And I'm just saying, like,
What?
the justification of the ego and the pride, and
That's insane.
et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
That's like 3 different cases of diaper awards.
I mean, it's so many.
The call that night is crazy. But I mean, if somebody needs help.
No, don't even know.
That's
Right.
fine.
If they needed help and it was for
Right.
them, it's one thing.
Yeah.
So my concern was, are you safe? Are you okay?
Right.
However, it makes me think, if I would have said all of that, which I didn't, they would have probably used that the next time around. Well,
Right.
I'm stuck in
Dang.
Albuquerque or something,
Right.
and can you please send me some money?
Oh man, that's disturbing, man.
Oh yeah, it is.
I mean, they kind of just told on themselves too, though. Like,
Well, I mean, you know, what's even more insane is that the reality of it is we all need each other and we all, you know, help each other. But
that's crazy.
it's definitely a difference between taking advantage and trying to belittle someone for not getting their way. The measures that they would go to try to get their way.
Well, the first thing is just the disrespect and disregard. But the second diaper award for that is the manipulation. That's crazy. The manipulation part is insane.
Well, it makes me wonder, you know, who is that person?
Right. Now I want to know who is that person. You a nasty boy or girl, whatever. You
Well,
nasty for that.
I'm just gonna say, you know, 2020, God bless, wish you it all. It's like I wish myself it first and foremost, and Happy New Year to you, by the way.
Oh yeah, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
Thank you. Happy New Year, man.
Happy New Year, guys.
Oh, the energy continues.
2020 is
2020.
gonna be incredible for those people.
Oh, really incredible.
That's right,
Right,
and
right.
it is actually. The energy is just surging. You can just see it. It's like you can see it in the air. You
Right,
can see
right.
the change, and I love it. And you know, I would say I embrace it, but it's already a part of me. So
Yeah.
you know, Anyway, I'm gonna give 5 diapers.
5 diapers.
I'm definitely giving 5 diapers. I'm giving 5 diapers at the fact that, like, let's just say I was so gullible, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people are just perfectly fine and okay with the fact that they would be able to take advantage, you know?
Right.
And I could have got all bent out of shape. I could have got all mad, played that game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the back and forth thing. I just simply said that's very disrespectful.
Yeah.
And you know, basically, you know, you have a lot of audacity. To you know,
to attack your characters and to make you feel like you're in the wrong for a friend for a couple dollars. Like they minimize the amount of money, but yet they do character assassination. That's a whole nother. There's so many diapers in there. That's a lot.
Well, yeah, it's so many. It is, and you know, I'm no longer upset about it. But to be perfectly honest with you, my schedule was so jammed. I was just pulled it right out the air. So many diaper wars for so many people. But that one just right now, when I just turned on the camera, I was like, okay,
that's what you felt. So you got it off your chest.
Yeah.
Diapers.
Diapers. What would you give that person? How many?
Well, I understand it's a personal thing.
Right.
So there's always going to be more diapers. It sounds like a hurtful experience, to be quite honest. But if from my standpoint, it's definitely like a 3 diapers.
Okay, fair enough.
For the simple fact that whoever did that just seems ignorant, or maybe just like self-absorbed. That's something they got to work on. You know what I mean?
Well, I would simply, you know what? Let me add the fact that, you know, I didn't really take it personal. I'm just observing and see it for what it is.
No, it doesn't seem like you're taking it personal. It seems you're more disappointed than anything else.
Well, you know, it does say that, you know, you don't want to see somebody digressing as an individual,
right? And
that part is disappointing.
Digression, yeah, that wraps it up from there.
You know,
I'm gonna give that a solid 3 diapers.
Okay, but you know, again, you know, I don't need to say I forgive the person because I never really took it personal.
Yeah. It's not that serious. That's why I
don't
give
want
it 3.
the person to think, you know, that it's a big deal. I just hope that somehow they can better themselves and strive in that direction instead of taking what I'm saying so personal. So,
that's fair.
You know. So what do you got?
Dang, man, I got a whole list of diapers.
What you got?
At least this episode I could hang with you because you've been killing me out the gate. He'd be like, yo, somebody destroyed a bus with kids on it. I'm like, yo, man. My thing is like somebody didn't take out the trash or something.
Oh, yeah?
Nah. So I got a complicated diaper award. I always got some weird, complicated.
Okay.
So originally it was going to go to that dude in the Bronx that kidnapped that girl. Or tried to kidnap.
Wait, you talking about the on the train?
On the train.
With the all red on?
Yeah. I know y'all seen that video. If you haven't, you under a rock. But stay under that rock because
Can I explain it a little bit?
Yeah, definitely.
So some guy was on the train and he was tapping. Well, I wasn't sure if it was a girl or a boy. We learned later on it was a girl.
That's crazy.
You know, he was like tapping them and tapping their feet and touching their leg.
Right.
And they would had a hood on, I think, and they were looking and, you know, you couldn't really hear dialogue, but somebody had their phone, they were recording it. And, 2020. And when the doors opened up, the guy went and grabbed the girl, picked her up and took off the train and sit on a bench.
Shout out to the Bronx.
And then he tried to kind of get on her. And it's not funny, but he was trying to stop her from wanting to go.
Yeah.
I guess he kind of figured this situation is better than your situation. One of those people trying to take advantage of the situation, you know?
Right.
And this person probably has, you know, mental issues of some sort, but either way, people like that need to, you know.
So I'm glad you said the story first instead of me explaining it.
Right.
Because I always give away how I'm feeling about a story sometimes. But, so initially when I seen it, I'm like, yo, this guy's terrible.
Yeah.
We have a problem in New York City right now, human trafficking.
Right.
And then I watched the second video that came out. Did you see the second video?
I did not.
So there's a second video of him walking down the block from where the incident happened,
Okay.
and people were like beating him up.
Really?
He's on the floor, he's getting beat up. And he's saying, I'm not a rapist, I'm not this, I'm not that. I was trying to help her. So I'm like, oh, this guy is really copping the plea, like, you know? But then,
What?
I went back and watched the video, and I'm like, oh, dude kind of looked like he's trying to help her. So I was just looking at it from an objective standpoint.
Okay.
So I looked at it like, what if, because we all been here now, that girl was in an argument with her boyfriend, and he felt like she was in danger, he was trying to help her, but he has, like you said, you mentioned a little bit of mental health, you know, he was just extreme with it, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I thought about maybe he tried to help her, because then I was thinking he was pointing at the stop to her when he kept tapping her shoe. So I'm just like, yo, imagine they just whamming on this dude, because, you know.
Well, I mean,
he was trying to help her. Imagine he was really trying to help her. Now he's getting jumped on. Now everyone's doing death threats. His own son is coming at him crazy, doing videos, like, just a bunch of stuff, right?
Okay.
So I go back and watch the video again and again.
Right.
And I was getting more and more convinced. Like, yo, this guy is innocent. Right?
Okay.
So, now watching the video, like, even when he grabs the girl, right? At first, everyone thought she was like a 12-year-old girl. That was the first headline.
Okay.
And then it was that she was just a woman. Then it came out that she was homeless. And the dude that was with her was homeless as well. That's why when he approached the other dude, he didn't have any shoes on. So, but when I seen all of those things, right, and people asking questions like why no one on the train did anything, a lot of things started to like make me feel like maybe they all witnessed something the cameras didn't catch. And that's why the guy was initially recording.
Well.
And so I was just thinking, like, maybe we got it wrong. But what came out of it all to me was we don't know what exactly happened. We just know what we seen on the camera. And someone created a narrative and we ran with it and we mobbed against this dude. And not even a day later, they caught him and just beat him to death. Like, just, you know, some angry mob stuff.
Well, yeah, you know what? I would say she definitely looked homeless based on the visual of the video, as well as the possible boyfriend, for my opinion, is what I thought the situation was.
Mm-hmm.
Based on her telling him, this guy, you know, she wanted him to, you know, her boyfriend to defend her, and what the guy did. It also looks like he was definitely taking advantage of the situation, knowing that she was homeless. And he was trying to quietly get her to get off the train herself. And he might have propositioned her something, I don't know what. But that was the read I got.
I mean, I look at the body language of the whole situation. Even when she starts screaming, he looks confused and shocked. Like, you would think he'd be ready for someone to start screaming. And the stop also was at Soundview Morrison, right? In the Bronx.
That's what it was?
Yeah.
Oh,
look,
wow.
the stop says it's right on camera, right?
Okay.
So if you look, if you know that stop in the Bronx, you know that you ain't just walking down the stairs with a girl.
Okay.
You gotta walk down and you gotta go around, and you're gonna be in the middle of Westchester Avenue, which is very public. You know what I'm saying? Some girl screaming at the top of her lungs ain't gonna just be. We don't know. Maybe they would be, but when she freaked out, it seemed like he was confused. He put it down right away, and he sat there looking baffled. He didn't run. He didn't do nothing. He just.
I think, he was so cocky that he thought he could just snatch somebody, in my opinion, clearly against their will, just picking people up while they sitting down. She didn't get up on her own. And I think his ego was like, yo, I thought I was, you know, I thought I could do this. Or I thought I could intimidate her because he was much, much bigger than her.
Right.
And it didn't work out in his favor.
I mean, if you look, he had no problem scooping her up. If he wanted to take her, she
well, he did. He took her, he put her on the bench, and he thought the train was gonna close, and then he gonna walk down the stairs with her.
But the reason why, see, all these things went across my head. I'm like, he lives around there. They caught him the next day around there, right?
Mm-hmm.
He knows that area. You can't just walk just in a building where he was, especially when he was caught out.
Because she was homeless. He was
just that cocky and confident. Just
oh, he's saving me. He's coming to my rescue. He's gonna take me home and feed me.
Now,
I think that's what he was hoping happened, but it didn't happen.
But see, even if that's wrong, right?
Yeah.
To do, that's what's wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's very different from kidnapping her and putting her in, having her in some kind of sex trafficking ring or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
No, I know what you're saying.
So is he was demonized to the point where people want to kill him, and his own son is like, his own son vocalized, "Oh, if that wasn't my dad, I would kill him." Like he said it, and he gets a diaper war too, but we'll get to that. So everybody's crucifying him based on what we've seen, the little 10-second clip. So I'm not defending him. What I'm saying is, I don't think it was exactly what. Well, I didn't think it was exactly what was presented to me until another video came out of him. Like, I don't know if he was high or drunk, but he was singing a song about a little girl, and he was saying something about. So he was saying something. I don't know if you guys know the rapper My Song. He's a rapper from the Bronx. He's a good rapper. He's nice. Look him up. I hit him up on Instagram just to see what he was thinking about what I thought, like my little theory. He was strongly adamant about, I think he was trying to get her to a sex trafficking type thing. Like, this guy took a woman. His words were, "This guy took a woman against her will." You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And which is right. I wasn't disagreeing with that. My disagreement was why he did it or what was going on in his head mentally. I think mentally he's not all up there. You know what I'm saying?
He clearly doesn't look like it.
And the video that came out, when he's singing about a little girl and peeking and it's weird and creepy, I instantly was like, "Oh, I was wrong."
Yeah, right.
I went on social media and was like, "I was wrong," because it's unhealthy to, just like it's unhealthy for people to put false narratives out. Some people might never see the retcon of anything, and they might just kill them. You know what I mean?
Well, no, I understand. I understand your point. I get what you're saying. You basically giving them the benefit of the doubt, of the possibilities of maybe it was a misunderstanding. Unfortunately, we don't always get the whole story either way.
Right.
Most people are innocent until proven guilty, no matter what.
Right.
And which I want to segue into a show.
Right.
But I first want to get your diaper award on what you.
Well, yeah, this is like a whole so basically that video came out, made me feel he was guilty. I rewatched the video, it made me just feel like maybe he's not so guilty as to the possibility of him thinking, like you said,
right,
I'm gonna save this girl and now she's mine type situation. That disgusting entitlement in itself.
Right.
Even though be it different than someone's sex trafficking, that's just a different conversation to me. They caught the dude and they arrested him in the hospital.
Right.
They was treating him. They took him. They interrogated him. They did an investigation and they released him.
Really?
Yeah, he's released, and he actually put a video. Somebody caught him in Harlem, going into a store and recording him speaking, and he told his side of the story, and it sounded almost side of mine, that she was arguing with the dude. They were homeless, and the dude was threatening her, and he was trying to warn her, like ask her if she wanted to help, and he tried to like save her, and when she bugged out, he was confused. He's like, "You saw I didn't run away. I didn't know." You know what I'm saying? Like, his defense sounded like what I thought might have happened, but it could just be something conjured up. It
sounds like they might have been having a disagreement to themselves. It wasn't, I didn't see no hands flying between them, and he might have been like he was overhearing their conversation,
right.
And he looked like an opportunist, like, I'm gonna take advantage of this situation. And when he picked her up, he tried to sit kind of on her so she couldn't move. So
I gotta watch that part.
I was like, and I know those seats are kind of small and he's much bigger, but it kind of looked like he was just like, I'm gonna look like I just didn't do what I just did, and just sit here.
Nah, I'm not with that, man. I ain't
Nah,
rolling.
that's what it looked like.
I'm not rolling with that.
Hey,
we gonna watch
I
the
could be
video.
wrong. You could be wrong.
Nah,
but
we probably,
that's just what it looked
we
like to
probably
me.
way
I
off
was
base.
just looking at it like, huh?
This is probably another girl pretending to get kidnapped again, like last week.
Oh yeah, wow. That's
Nah,
but
but it's scary. But alright, so my diaper award isn't necessarily just for him.
Mm-hmm.
It's for him. It's for his son.
Okay.
So he that dude to me, he gets 4 solid diapers. I can't give him the 5. I still.
Oh, you mean the son?
No,
that dude.
The dude.
The red.
I think he has mental problems.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah,
I think I can't give him the 5 because I still have that slither of doubt in my head of what his intentions were.
Right.
But I give him the 4 for picking up. I don't know. It's insane. You know what I'm saying? And until I get more information on it, I can't just. I wouldn't be the one in the mob beating him up. That's not me. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't just do it based on what I saw. That's why my last diaper award is gonna go to the mob beating him up.
I mean, you know,
we grew up around street justice and all that, but people were saying for him to leave the block after they did minimal damage. They beat him up kind of, but like for the kind of energy they was having, like, oh, we're gonna destroy this dude. All the comments and everybody writing. So not only do they get diaper awards, everybody in here, everyone's getting diaper awards. Everybody that was catch him in the street, kill him, blah blah blah. Like they all get diaper awards. His son putting out that nasty video, he get diaper award, copping the plea and just trying to save face. Like he get 5
it's a lot of
diapers.
pressure though, because you know someone would know that's hey yo, your dad did that. And he's probably like, he don't want people to come at him, so he figured he'll stay ahead of it and go about it that way. I don't think he really. I mean, I'm not gonna say he doesn't really mean it, but
So clear up, like my thing is because I think they put a picture when he's in the picture. Put a video out. That's fine. Try to clear your name in that regards, but to go as far as to say if he wasn't my dad, I'll kill him. Like that kind of energy is just to me is like you going well beyond. You kind of showing your character in a nasty way.
well, you know, maybe, and hey, again, you know, you don't know the issues his son may have. His son may have issues as well.
I mean, maybe his son knows things we don't know. You know what I'm saying? But again, even so, he kind of just reinforced the narrative that everyone else was putting out instead of just staying out of that aspect. More on, he should. Well, what I would have thought what he would have done would have been, I don't condone that behavior. I don't understand what's going on. I haven't heard his side of the story, blah, blah, blah. Or if he knew, if he's done behavior like that before, say that. But for him to go and give the green light for other people to have that energy to do the whole angry mob thing, I think that's totally unhealthy.
Peer pressure is very serious. People
Right.
are very afraid of the repercussions that he may have to endure based on his father, and he probably just trying to save himself and people around him.
Cut the line, right?
Yeah, by just simply saying that, even if he doesn't necessarily mean it, people say a lot of things they don't mean, and other people would use, I didn't really mean it as an excuse. I was mad. It's the big difference. This is one of those situations where I could kind of sympathize with putting myself in that person's shoes and try to, you know, think about, wow, what did my dad just do? You know, like really, people know him, they know me. How could I get ahead of it?
Right.
And I think that for me, I could certainly understand, you know, if that wasn't my dad, you know, kind of thing. He's not, you know.
Well, I guess, all right. So that changed my perspective a little bit. I still don't agree with what he said.
Well,
I understand it.
I mean, you know.
But he still get like 4 diapers. I got 4 diapers. Because it really upset me. And then the fourth person, people that get diapers, is everybody online saying if I seen him, I would have killed him. Or like somebody killed him, somebody catch him.
Well, the thing is, people just forget the mistakes that they make in life.
Right.
They're so really quick to jump on the bandwagon because that's the part of it. When you have so many against one, it's hard to be courageous and be brave and just say, you know what, I'm gonna stand my ground and how I think, or I'm gonna reserve my judgment. It's really hard because you know you got all these people talking, you know, all their opinions about this. And the truth of the matter is I don't think they realize how easy it would be to, yes, beat the dude up. I'm not saying, you know, if that was my daughter and everything, like how I would deal with the situation. But it's really difficult. In case you guys don't know, for someone to get assessed, for someone to be evaluated to see if they have any mental illnesses, they can't just go to the doctor and go, "Hey, I want you guys to check me out. I don't know if I got things going on in my head."
Right. And it takes a strong person to do it themselves.
One, that's right. It takes a very strong person to do that. No one knows what they would do in that position. It's one thing to talk about it. It's another thing to go and seek the help. But even if they do go seek the help, it's not as available as people might think.
Right.
It's really hard and difficult. The insurance on it is really high. The physicians, there's not enough. There's a whole situation in itself. And just because the family might say, "Hey, judge, our family member needs help," the judge usually is going to side with them. They never side against the masses of people.
Right.
So that's just another situation.
Right.
I got to reserve my diaper awards only because. But yeah, I agree with you. I hope that the son somehow finds a better way to deal with it in a healthy way mentally, and finds peace within himself, and and the guy gets the proper help that he needs, because I think he does. But I mean, of course, it's easy to jump on a bandwagon and be like, "Oh yeah, that was my daughter. This is what I would do." I mean, I don't know the ages of or the experience of these people that are so quick to pass judgment.
But I think what it is fear. I think there's a hysteria going on with this sex trafficking stuff going on. People going missing. People ready to jump the gun, and out of fear, I think if anybody was smart enough, they could send someone anyone's direction.
Well, I mean, I get you. And by the way, in the South is the highest rate of missing people. Easy to Google. And you would also find out more details if you do that. And it's just, I would say research where you move to. A lot of people, they retire and they don't have any kind of information on where they're going. Which again, and there's so many things I want to talk about, and we have such a short period of time. But you done with?
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Everybody in that situation gets 4 diapers, and then the online people, y'all get 3 diapers. I get 3 diapers too. I'm thinking he was innocent.
That's fair.
But I don't know. It's still up in the air for me.
I think when you've been in situations, you've been in a legal situation. I know that you was accused of something you clearly didn't do, and I know you won that case. And I think that's probably why a lot of people probably haven't been in a position where they've been accused of something they clearly didn't do.
Right.
And I think that's probably why you give him the benefit of the doubt. And that's actually brave. And also being accountable for your actions, giving yourself 3 diapers. Again, that's bravery, and a lot of people, they're not ready to do that.
Right. I'm trying this little thing the last year that, recognizing toxic behaviors, and now this year I'm going to try to be accountable for them, not just recognize them.
I think that's one of the things I've learned in my life. And I didn't even get into the whole thing about we all make mistakes. We already know that, right? But I would say that what I try to do, I try to remind myself to look at my own situation and what would I do if I was in someone else's situation before I just
go off the handle,
go crazy.
Right.
And that's what I try to do. Right. I try to have a different way of looking at the situation.
Right.
And it has helped me deal with situations a lot better, going about it that way. But I wanted to talk about the Apple Plus show. What is it?
The Mandalorian?
No, the
Mandalorian.
The morning show. The morning show.
Is it morning show on Apple Plus?
Apple Plus.
Oh, you Apple Plus, not Disney Plus.
Yeah.
All right. What's his morning show?
The morning show, it's like a Regis and Kathy Lee kind of situation.
Right. Regis and Kathy.
Well, yeah.
Regis and Kelly. All right.
Well, it's Kat.
Now it's Shannon, right?
Yeah, her best friend or something.
No, the dude, the football player.
No, it's not Shannon no more. It's some new guy. I stopped watching that show. She got a best friend on there now.
All right,
yeah,
cool.
Best friend.
So now she's on Apple TV?
No.
Or somebody?
Oh my God. Oh man.
Beaches and Kelly, man.
Kelly. I've seen Kelly before in real life, man. I'm just gonna say no comment.
Oh man. Shout out to Kelly. Shout
out to Kelly.
All right, so what's Apple?
I'm just gonna say the shows like that, right?
Right.
I'm gonna give a lot of credit to Apple Plus for putting together what I would call a mastermind strategy of shows. Well directed, well written, very realistic. I'm very impressed by the fact that the show is vulnerable, and they show not just the audience what characters are doing, but the public is now privy to the culture of the show. Like the fact that it's so perfect. Everybody's always smiling. You know, every story is somehow a happy story at the end. We all know that's not realistic, but one of the excuses is our show is gonna, when they look forward to our show, it's gonna always make them smile. It's gonna take them away from the misery that's going on in their lives.
That's dangerous to me, though.
Well, that was the show, but now they have a partner that's second in command of the show, and he wants to just shake that up, and he's bored with that. Yeah, he's you know, it's like, really.
Right.
And you know, people do different things behind the scenes, and you know, they have all these different laws to protect people, fraternizing, et cetera. People are always gonna do it, and I think that at this point, the companies have to protect themselves financially for lawsuits, so they have to place rules, and this is what they got to do. So it's like you're seeing it from different points of view. But if somebody messes up, so this person admitted after the fact in front of everybody that works there, because the pressure just, like, for some reason just got to that level, and she admitted she slept with the anchor person, the star of the show, but when he wouldn't leave his wife, she called human resources and got him fired. His whole entire reputation publicly was tarnished, and he's like, I never did anything wrong, like, you know. And then he slept with a couple of different girls, and they were more concerned with well, she was concerned with her ego and you won't leave your wife. The other girl, she wanted to talk about it, but she never wanted to admit that she actually slept with him. You know what I mean? Anyway, it's a good show. I like it. I like the way they directed it. It's very realistic. I won't give anything away. I'm sure if you watch it, you may not like it. I would say one thing you would take from it is that it's a real show.
What's the name of it?
What's the name of this show? The Morning Show.
The Morning Show.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Yeah.
You gotta get with Apple TV.
You gotta get it.
Apple TV. Come on, man.
Now,
I got a show too.
What's your show?
So I think because Apple TV and Disney Plus and all these shows are popping up on all these streaming services,
Yeah.
I think Netflix is like full gas this year. And they didn't even drop nothing on Christmas. They usually on like holidays, they'll like release a couple movies. They didn't drop anything. And so they put in like 8 shows they released today.
Right.
And I think tomorrow they have more shows. And one of the shows that they released is a show called Messiah.
Okay.
And I'm gonna give a short premise of it. I'm not gonna say too much about it, but it's basically about if you're Christian, the second coming, or if you're Muslim, the Messiah has come, or and you know, more stuff like that. But it's really good, man. Okay. The acting is amazing. The dialogue is amazing. The pacing is amazing.
I seen some of it, and I only seen 5 minutes of it, but I noticed the directing is really good.
It's
I appreciate
so
that.
it's so concentrated. It knows where it's going.
Yeah.
I feel like in certain shows they put out the pilot, they sell the show. Someone's like, yeah, we could work with that, but I want you to make these changes.
Right.
I feel like this show knows where it wanted to end up, and he
Okay.
built around that, and he
Nice.
knew where it started, he knew where it's going, and where it ends probably.
That's cool.
And I could just see that in the directing because it seems very concentrated. It knows where it wants to be. It knows where it wants you to be, and it's good. It's like it's not boring. It's not predictable. It doesn't even give you the chance to try to predict anything
Right.
because it's so well thought out.
Right.
And maybe that's the simplicity of it. But
Okay.
Messiah on Netflix.
I mean,
check it out.
that sounds good.
There's a few things coming out that I kind of want to see. But
Well, I would say
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian.
I just finished watching 7 episodes basically in the course of a couple of days, but the season finale just happened,
Right.
and it's crazy. It's the best Star Wars, I guess, story I've heard in like a little while, basically.
Right.
But we just wrapped up Skywalker series, so
Okay.
the saga,
Right.
and I liked it. You know, that was a mess, but I mean, I think there's just a lot of. I think, as far as TV shows and movies, a lot of originality is coming back. You know, I'm appreciating it. I think this streaming wars, like I said earlier, is definitely making competition, and people are caring more about the content. Netflix is stepping the game up now that you have competition, and I'm definitely looking forward to this year.
I mean, social media in itself changed everything, and again, it shows that someone could just make an app up, and someone can also create their own movies. And it's just as simple as that.
Well, see, that's the thing. Like a show that you wouldn't expect, as soon as it hits social media, it gets like a little following, gets a little role. Like the show called You.
Right.
It's about a dude that he's like a stalker. He likes this girl,
Mm-hmm.
and they just made him, relatable and endearing, and like every girl is like talking about him, but he's really just a creep, psychopath. But you're empathizing with him, and they found a way to make you root for him. Just like other shows, just like Dexter or
just like real life
Breaking
stuff.
Bad.
There's girls that are infatuated with serial killers.
Well, exactly. So that's what's happening. It's kind of showing psychology, and I think the show is teaching people more about themselves than kind of even like exploring him, because he's pretty cut and dry. You know where he's at. He's not unpredictable, but I think it's pushing the boundaries of what people find acceptable. But in real life, it's like you're so horrified or mortified about things that you hear.
But
It's more about appearance. It's more about, and I think it's very self-centered. I think it's more of a psychological thing, but
especially when they, publicize them and they're on the news, people are like, "Oh my God!"
right.
Thing.
Yeah, it's all of that is going back a couple episodes. We kind of alluded on the people being starstruck, on people not really feeling real about it.
Yeah.
And things aren't tangible. So I think that mystery in itself, and Messiah, the show, ironically touches on that. So it's like, I think whoever's making shows now or have been making
They're in
shows,
touch with what's really happening.
exactly,
around us.
and
That makes a great show.
it's reinforcing. So it's like, I think Netflix knows where it's going. I think Disney Plus knows, and then it sounds like Apple TV got something on the hands too. So.
Well, and speaking of publicizing and stuff like that, I noticed for New Year's 2020, there weren't a lot of people out partying. There weren't a lot of people spending money.
Right.
And I'm thinking it's because people are unsure how money's going to go with the whole impeachment.
Ooh, that's a fire point. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
There's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of people now. It's public. People, I'm not gonna say what people title it as. I'm just gonna say people for their own race. I would say, and they're in the public eye, and they're public figures. They're in the government, and people are aware of it.
Right.
And you're listening to these stories, social media, right? And I think it makes people very like, I'm gonna just not do nothing. I'm gonna observe and just stay still. They're worried about their money.
Right.
And you know, because New Year's people will tend to spend more than they thought they're gonna spend.
Right. I mean, just a couple years ago, I remember New Year's was packed everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere it was packed. Blew the blocks. Everyone was outside still partying after the clock. But this New Year's, especially in the city, and even I seen a lot on social media, parties seemed a lot emptier. I seen a lot more people in houses, like little house gatherings and stuff like that. So,
well, you know, that might be a better situation to hang out with
I
friends.
kind of missed that though. I missed the whole, house party vibe and people getting together, more intimate settings. But it's kind of scary too, because the economy and stuff. Like, how is it gonna suffer? Like, that is just an indicator of what kind of year this is gonna be. People spending less money. It's businesses shutting down. It might change the culture of New York.
Well,
Or
not just New York.
America, but
Well, yeah, because
I think it starts with New York as far as financial.
LA, same thing happened. Somebody was just telling me today they went to a place that was like it was like a really huge space.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like $125 to get in. And when they got in there, there was like nobody there.
People started letting people in free.
Huge place.
Yeah, I heard about that. People letting people in free clubs in New York on New Year's. That's unheard of. Anybody that knows, you spend $60 and plus going any spots in New
Absolutely. And I don't know if people are away or in the house,
right,
or whatever the case is. There was no traffic coming into Manhattan. There was no traffic leaving it.
Yeah,
it was very, very quiet.
That's
what's going on.
That's
Streets are quiet.
That's saying something. I mean, I think as a
something.
whole, like even usually on New Year's they have like fireworks. I know Dubai does stuff every year with the building, but now they even integrate in like little drones now, like doing displays in the sky, like they're replacing fireworks. It's just, imagine how different it's gonna be in the future, where it's just like people don't even go out no more. They just, they look out the window of their house and they see things in the sky, projections.
What you have to ask yourself, is this deliberate or not?
Right.
They want people to stay home. Everything could when you know what everybody's doing is either control it.
Right. I think what you said about the impeachment is really, that might be it, because I don't see how it could affect all parts of New York like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I would understand maybe like Queens being affected because of previous traffic or something. I really feel like it was empty. I didn't see anyone anywhere.
I think that's the situation that's going on, and
that's shocking. It affects us more than we probably even.
Well, especially Manhattan is the financial capital of the world.
Right. So if Manhattan doesn't make money, that kind of is going to trickle down. So people say that Donald Trump was responsible for doing a lot in financial areas, but I've heard other experts, I could be wrong, I'm ignorant to it, but I've heard other experts say that when a president leaves, that's when you start feeling the effect of their legislation and things that they set into effect. So we could be experiencing now just that quickly the effect of Trump leaving office. You know what I'm saying? So,
but he didn't leave yet.
The scare.
Or he may not ever leave.
No, yeah. If the Senate doesn't pass a bill to impeach him, then nothing happens. But the fact that our president was impeached is insane. It's like, I know a lot of people are desensitized to that. We watched House of Cards. It's a pretty popular show that was on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
The horrific things you've seen in that show maybe desensitize people from reality, because they kind of mirror each other almost.
What's that other show? Black Mirror.
Yeah.
Where in Asia, China, they have the rating system. If you go to the liquor store and you buy too much liquor, your rating goes down.
Right. I think that's the thing. I think that's gonna be the future.
That's already happening there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's already happening there.
That's terrible.
That's insane.
So
Speaking of shows, and I gotta wonder, these directors, I would say, or if you do your research and find out what's going on in different countries, you can build a show around it. and just based on the behaviors of people, and then because you're like, this is what's about to happen. I wonder if they're going in that direction or not. I wonder if that's what's happening.
I think that we are going in that direction in real life. So it's like you said earlier about something else, us trying to get ahead of the curve. Like his son trying to get ahead of things, like just trying to create that narrative and point that direction. That's why I think it's so scary and dangerous that, you said that they were smiling and for whatever reason every story had a happy ending. Just to create that false narrative for us is kind of scary because we might see a devastating situation and think everyone got out okay and just, ignore it the next time it happens. Like if some girl gets kidnapped in the middle of the street, what's gonna happen? Are we gonna be like, she's faking, or this guy, he's like, are we gonna be desensitized to that now? So now with something on a grander scale, as far as like presidency and financial stuff, are we gonna be desensitized?
And speaking of that, one of the things that I didn't touch on was the people that were actually beating up this guy.
Yeah.
Wrong or right? Maybe in their heads they figuring that they want to send a message to anybody else that might want to do that.
Well, and I think that's the fear, and I think it's wrong. I think it's wrong for the simple fact, and this is why they got 5 diapers. I didn't really like focus on that.
5 or 4?
5. They get 5.
Okay.
The commenters get 4. Dude gets 4. They get more diapers than him for the simple fact that what they did is cut and dry. We understand what they did. We understand they think they were right. And we understand street justice, right? But they just beat him up and let him go. They said, get off my block. Like, they felt entitled to the block.
So you think maybe, and I'm not saying this is what you was thinking, but you think maybe they should have did a citizen arrest and brought him to the precinct?
I think they should have, I think they should have figured it out. If they did, a lot of people don't believe in the police. A lot of people, feel like street justice is the way to go.
Right? Like, hey guys, let's bring this guy to the precinct.
They rather just punch him and then he's still in the street to do whatever he wants to do. He could literally take a girl on his way home because he's feeling horrible. Like, I just didn't understand how they just let him go. They just did it for their own, pride, and I think that's what it is. Yo, I caught that guy on the block, I punched him, and I guess they want to be heroes. I don't know, and that's why because
once it became public, and streaming and all of that, it's almost like if nothing happens, then it might encourage other people to do what he did. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not in their heads, know how they're thinking. I'm just thinking maybe that's the possibility of. I'm not justifying anybody. I'm just thinking like what people think because you never know.
Yeah, I mean, again, like that goes back kind of to the the thing you said going on in China.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's already obvious people do things for shock value and attention. Like even Uncle Murder, he does the end of the year wrap up, which is the only thing he does really now. So even since he was signed to G-Unit, he hasn't really done nothing. But I listened to his song and I was looking forward to it. We all do. He's
Right.
But I feel like he just said a lot of things for shock value. You know what I mean? It wasn't even cool anymore. I didn't even enjoy it that much. But that's why, that's gonna be my let it go right there. Because I think he needs to let go the end of the year wrap up. Leave that in the last decade.
Okay. Well, my let's go let it go is IP Man 4.
Oh yeah.
Bruce Lee's teacher.
Right.
I don't know if it's out or about to come out.
It's about to come out. Yeah.
And I seen one of the coming attractions where they talked about Bruce Lee, and he kind of showed him he's not the real Bruce Lee, but it's been a couple of other IPs, and I don't think most people even know what that person is, or the movie for that matter. But anyway, I definitely say let it go. I mean, let's go.
Let's go. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
I was about to say,
yeah, can't wait to see that.
Ip Man, I'm gonna I gotta see that.
Right.
I've seen a few coming attractions too.
Seen it? All right, cool. So on that note, much love. Thanks for watching David Talks.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, 2000.